If you own a rental property in Virginia but don't reside in the state, do you know what's required of you? In this video, we'll talk about your obligations under the Virginia Residential Landlord Tenant Act, which is called the VRLTA. For great landlord tips, subscribe to our videos, and if you'll hit the bell, you'll get a notification every time we release a new video every week. Okay, so what is the VRLTA? VRLTA, as I mentioned before, is the Virginia Residential Landlord Tenant Act, and it puts a lot of requirements on you as the landlord and on your tenants as well. We're not going to get into all those details today, but we're going to talk about one specific one. My name is Craig Richey, and I'm COO of Richey Property Management in Northern Virginia outside of DC. So let's get into this. If you live outside of the Commonwealth of Virginia but have rental property in the state, here's what you need to know. The VRLTA requires you to appoint and maintain a resident agent, also commonly known as a registered agent, within the state. This is somebody who can receive notice, legal notice, or any court-appointed notice for you in case of any disputes or issues. So who can serve as a registered agent? You can appoint anybody who is a resident of the state of Virginia or any company that is licensed to conduct business in Virginia to be your registered agent. Some people think they'll put their realtor, their listing agent, down as their registered agent. That's not always a good idea because the realtor's job is to get the place rented, and their contract actually ends once the property is leased. So their insurance, their errors and omissions insurance, ends when that contract is over. So if they make any mistake, there's no insurability to fall back on. So how do you register your resident agent in Virginia? Normally, you appoint them within the lease itself. So different jurisdictions will have a standardized lease. That lease will often have the opportunity to appoint your registered agent in the lease. That provides notice to your tenant who that registered agent is, and that can also be used by anybody else who the tenant gives that document to. You also may be required to register the resident agent with your county court in the county where the property is located. And that, might require a small fee county by county. I think it's maybe a $10 fee, so it's not significant and important to keep that documentation up to date. So what happens if you don't appoint a resident agent? By default, the Commonwealth of Virginia Secretary of State becomes your registered agent. And what that means is that if there is some legal complaint or a filing, could even be a county notice or some other document that's just going out to everybody within a specific area. If that is delivered or undeliverable to you because you don't have a registered agent, then what happens is it becomes delivered to the state, and they in turn will try to find you, but whether they find you or not, you are legally on notice for whatever document it was that was supposed to be sent to you. So the fact that you have not received that document becomes irrelevant, and you are responsible for whatever it may contain, even though you have no knowledge of it. So who can you use as a registered agent? Actually, there are a lot of options. Some real estate brokerages will actually do it for you, but there are a lot of independent companies or businesses who will do it as well. Oftentimes, attorneys will do this for you as well. So if you'll just do a quick Google search, you'll find 100 options for it. Shouldn't be any problem to find a good registered or resident agent for yourself in Virginia. So that's a lot of information, and I hope it was helpful to you. Even if your rental property isn't in Virginia, you really should check into this in your location, your jurisdiction where your property is, because there very likely is a similar law there as well. And if this video has been helpful to you, I hope you'll share it with some friends, other investors or landlords you may know. And of course, subscribe and check down below. We're going to put a link into some of the legal code and some of the requirements for you so that you can check it out in a little bit more detail, okay? Thank you very much. Take care.